One of the most important things to remember when researching is follow experts. And when it comes to finance, Warren Buffett is an expert. Yeah, he doesn't like crypto. Maybe he's wrong about that. But when it comes to finance, he is an expert. And so he's somebody you should listen to. I don't know how many experts you're surrounded by, but Warren Buffett would be one. So there's the annual letter. So now I don't read the whole annual letter. I don't need to know the details of what's going on in all of Berkshire Hathaway. I assume he's got it under control. But I like when Warren Buffett talks about the world in general. And so that's why I found this. And I wasn't going to talk about it, but there was something here interesting. And also, I want to mention too, because people talk about, well, how do I do research? Here's the difference between reading the annual letter and reading. So here's New York Times. And they write about what is in that letter. And, they talk about a lot of things. I mean, this isn't, but what I found to be the most interesting thing in the letter, New York Times doesn't mention. So, and then I wanted to find the actual letter, and New York Times does not link to the PDF, not even as a resource. I mean, I looked twice. I don't see a link to the PDF. So I searched, and this site comes up, got a link. I think if I searched Berkshire Hathaway, maybe it would have come up. I don't know. But anyways, so here it is, and I'm not going to bore you with the whole annual report, but I think this part here, okay, he says, tell you about a new accounting rule, generally accepted accounting principle, GAAP, which everybody follows, in future quarterly and annual reports, will severely distort Berkshire's net income figures and very often mislead commentators and investors. So Warren Buffett is saying that the government is forcing him to distort information, which is really obviously an infringement on his free speech, in a way that forces him to sort of miscommunicate important financial matters. He also says here that for analytical purposes, Berkshire's, quote, bottom line will be useless. And then I read a little bit about what it is. So, oh boy. So you have an operating business. So I have my e-commerce business. Well, how much money did we make? How much did we lose? And then I have money in stocks, right? And if I sell Tesla because it was up, I get all this money. You don't want to see that as part of my business. Oh, boy, the e-commerce business did great, in July, which is usually a slow month. Why did that happen? Well, it's true because I sold Tesla stock. When you mix it all in one, it's hard to decipher what's going on with the operating business. And the new law forces Berkshire Hathaway to show it as one bottom line. And I'm not going to go into it. Most of you may understand that. If not, watch it again. Just think about it. It's actually not that complex, right? It's merging two separate things, financial stock investments and operating businesses. Those should be separately accounted for in some way. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. All I know for my experience is that if you do mix stock trading profits with business operations, it makes a mess of the numbers. And it looks like Berkshire is being forced to do this. And this is just, so the bottom line regarding crypto is that, one thing is that I really think that finance numbers, prices is just another form of speech. And we have to look at whether these regulations, it's not about are there too many, it's just are we doing harm? Hippocrates, at least do no harm. And right here, the government, we have the number one financial investor in the first thing he puts here this is the first page, other than listing how much money he's made. The first thing he talks about is how the government is forcing him is infringing on his speech. Well, is it really infringing on speech? They're setting a standard, the GAAP standard, because technically he could probably release his own numbers. I don't know, But some of these regulations, instead of thinking, do we have too many or too little? It's do no harm. Can we do no harm?